Let me ask you something. How many times have you said, I'm gonna walk in this week? And somehow the week just flies by. It's not because you're lazy. I mean, that could be the reason. Sometimes it is laziness. It's because there's no system. And that's what I want to help fix. We're going to break these into parts. The first part we're going to talk about is the truth about progress. Reaching your goals isn't about doing something crazy for just one singular week. It's about doing the right thing every single week. Not one and done. We don't do one and done. And the truth is, we don't lack motivation. You can have all the motivation, intention, but motivation and all that stuff without the actual effort and taking action does absolutely nothing for you. It's about doing the right thing every single week. And the truth is like, we wake up saying we want to be better, but then what? What next after that? You don't think about that, huh? We check our phones, we chase little tasks, we move, but not in the direction we're actually aiming for. Like most of the time, the goals you set, those little small goals you set, and write it down on your notes or whatever, your phone, your Google Docs, they don't really help you in the long run. And it's not, you gotta be more efficient as well. So that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna talk about the different tactics, tactics that work, weekly system. One, weekly vision reset. It can be Sunday or Monday. Recently I just learned Monday is the beginning of the week for some people. Sunday, by calendar is the beginning of the week, but some people say Sunday's the last day of the week. But every week, give yourself 10 minutes to ask, what do I want to move forward with this week? What 2 to 3 things will matter most in the long run? And then you want to go with the non-negotiables. You should give yourself non-negotiables. Pick 1 to 2 non-negotiable actions. Like you got to do it this week. Whether that's going to the gym 3 times this week, 1 hour of editing, 2 pages of script writing, and protect those actions like your life depend on it. Or you're gonna meal prep for that week. You're gonna cook some sweet potato with some grilled chicken and some vegetable broccoli. Make sure do at least 1 to 2. Minimum 1, of course. 1 to 2 start off. These non-negotiables, you're gonna do them, guarantee. If you don't do it, you got to give yourself a punishment. Like you could say, let's say if I don't do any of the non-negotiables, okay, now I gotta go somewhere. I gotta do charity, put some bread in it too. $100,000 if I don't do none of that. We gotta just pay something. But yeah, start off with the non-negotiables, and then third, you want the daily micro wins. Every night write down 3 smallest wins you need for the next day. Not 12, not 8, just 3. You want to be small with it. That way you have an actual direction, because the less you actually put, the more you do. If you do realize, when you put like 8 or so, you end up completing none or 1. Just do 3, you're gonna complete all 3. And then also the last thing right here, weekly check-in. Just end of the week, you review, what worked, what was BS, what I'll do next week, or what I'll do different next week. And then, you want to ask yourself later on, why does it matter? When we don't plan our week, someone else does. Social media, drama, distractions. But when you take even 5 minutes to focus on your mind before the week starts, you're in control. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to win your week. It's nobody else's week. It's your week. Mind their business. And then this week, start small. Write it down. Keep it simple. But move with purpose. Move on purpose. The life you want is built one decision at a time. So go make one decision. You don't gotta make 68 decisions. All right, that's it right there. I'll see you in the next one.